There was a Southwest Airlines flight that was coming into Las Vegas, flying in over the desert. And you know, it's turbulent over the desert, and this plane is bouncing up and down, and the passengers are white-knuckling along. Plane comes down, hits the runway, bang, bounces 500 feet up into the air, comes back down, bang, hits the runway again, screeches to a halt. All the passengers are white-faced, white-knuckled. What are they going to tell their neighbors about that landing? Good or bad? And you know it's not good. Well, the pilot, he's got a sense of ownership for Southwest Airlines, something that we talk about a lot at Values Coach, is building that culture of ownership. And he doesn't want people to go home and tell their neighbors bad things about the landing. So he comes on the intercom and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to be the first to welcome you to Las Vegas. And I want you to know that here at Southwest Airlines, there is no additional charge for the second landing." Now, what are they going to tell their neighbors? And it's going to be much more positive. I'm Joe Ty, CEO of Values Coach, and your coach for this course on the 12 Core Action Values. And today we're going to talk about the fourth cornerstone of enthusiasm, which is humor. Having a sense of humor. And you know, there's a lot of evidence that humor really is the ultimate key success factor in many aspects of your life and your work. For people in sales, salespeople who can make other people laugh sell more. They're more successful. Leaders who have a sense of humor, leaders who can break the tension, who can break the anxiety by getting people to laugh, are much more effective. I was at the annual AHA, American Hospital Association Leadership Summit in San Francisco, and one of the keynote speakers was Doris Kearns Goodwin, who wrote the book Team of Rivals about Abraham Lincoln. She was a great speaker. She had us laughing. She had us in tears. And she got a standing ovation, only one at the conference. And one of the things that became very clear was that Abraham Lincoln was able to break the tension, break the anxiety with a story, with a joke, sometimes on himself, by making people laugh. It's a key element of leadership. Dealing with adversity. You know, if you can deal with adversity with a sense of humor, if you can laugh about things, you're going to be much more successful at navigating those inevitable, difficult times. Christine Clifford, now Christine Clifford Beckwith, has become a friend over the years. She was in the hospital with breast cancer and said, "I felt like I was at a funeral home. Full, you know, the room was surrounded by flowers and sympathy cards, people with long faces. What I really wanted was for somebody to make me laugh, and nobody did." So when she got out of the hospital, you know what she did? She started her own club, the Cancer Club. And her tagline, her theme is, "Don't forget to laugh. You only have cancer, and laughter really is the best medicine. Don't let it rob you of the joy of laughter." She wrote a book, "Not Now, I'm Having a No Hair Day." She has cartoons in her book. One of my favorite ones, she's at a party somewhere and someone offers her a cigarette and she says, "Oh, no thanks. I already have cancer." Don't forget to laugh. It's only cancer. You know, a lot of my pro bono work is with support groups. And I see people who have cancer, people who are struggling with addictions, people who have had terrible things happen in their lives, the kind of thing you and I would hope never happen to us. And when they can laugh, when people can actually laugh, even though these things are going on, it's almost like you can hear the ice beginning to crack in that room. You can almost hear the water flow. The late C.W. Metcalf, one of the funniest speakers I ever heard. He was at one of my Never Fear, Never Quit conferences, had people rolling on the ground. And he wrote the book, Lighten Up. And he talked about what he called terminal professionalism. You know, people being dead serious. "I'm dead serious about this." And if you're dead serious long enough, you end up seriously dead. And it happens in here first, doesn't it? We all know people who are deader than doornails. They just haven't stopped breathing so we can bury them without breaking the law. One time a number of years ago, I had lunch with the CEO of what was then the biggest producer of corporate training videos in the world. And we were talking about effective communication strategies. How do you really reach an audience? And I'll never forget, I was about to take a bite of spaghetti, and he said, "Joe, if you really want to reach an audience, you got to have sex with them." And I kind of choked. All of them? He said, SEX, significant emotional experience. If you're not reaching people, if you're not touching people, if you're not making them laugh, not making them cry, if you're not reaching people emotionally, you're not going to connect with them. And he's right. And humor is one of the most powerful ways that we connect with other people. And how do we do that? Well, there's with stories. And there are stories everywhere. You have stories in your family. Many of the talks I open up with a story from my family about Mr. Potato Head. It always gets a laugh, but you know there's some great lessons in that story. One of the stories I often close with, I got from Reader's Digest. Now, of course, it was one of these little throwaway jokes I saw years ago, and of course, over the years, I've made it mine, and it's grown, and it's expanded, and it always gets a laugh. There are stories everywhere. And here's the good news. The ability to laugh, the ability to make other people laugh, is not a genetically inherited trait. It's a skill. It's a skill that you can develop. Let me wrap up by telling you about laugh clubs. There is a doctor in India. He started laughter clubs. And their whole theme is laugh for no reason, just for the heck of it. And I was at Tucson Medical Center, which is a client, about a year ago, walking around with the CEO. And this is a big teaching hospital. And we ran into this doc. He's the head of their neurosurgery department. He's from India. A little short guy, and he's a long name that I couldn't begin to pronounce. And we were talking about leadership and administration, all this, and somehow laugh clubs came up. I said, yeah, I've been reading about him. He says, I chair the laugh club at our hospital here. And I started laughing. He started laughing. Before long, we're almost on our knees, laughing hysterically. People are walking by wondering what's going on. And you know what? We both felt so much better. We just laughed until we cried for no reason at all. We didn't have to have an excuse to laugh. We didn't have to have a joke, a punchline. We just laughed. And you know what? If you just do that every day, of course, if you've got a parakeet like this, it'll make you laugh too. Just laugh every day. I guarantee you it's going to bolster your sense of humor. And as you bolster your sense of humor, as you become more able and willing to laugh, you're going to be a more enthusiastic person. And if you're a more enthusiastic person, you are going to have a better life. Guaranteed. I'll see you next time when we talk about core action value number 11, service. Until then, don't forget to laugh, keep enthusiasm, have energy, ask dumb questions, and laugh for no reason. See you next time.